If you're a fan of peaty whiskies with a sherry influence, you'll be hard pressed to find a better example of that type of whiskey. Hey guys, thank you for being here once again for another tasting and review video on McIntyre's malts. My name is Wade, and if you are anything like me, you love malt whiskey. So today we are tasting and reviewing the Ardbeg Uigeadail. Now, if you haven't already seen my video of the Ardbeg 10, go back and watch that when you're finished with this one. The Uigeadail is one of the higher end Ardbegs in the core lineup. So the Ardbeg Uigeadail takes its name from the brooding, mysterious loch which provides the peat-laden water for Ardbeg. This is a special vatting of different styles of Ardbeg, marrying together traditional deep, smoky notes with the luscious, sweet, raisiny tones of old ex-sherry casks. So on the front of the bottle, on the label, it says the ultimate Islay single malt Scotch whiskey. This one here is also non-chill filtered, so that's a nice big tick. It doesn't mention anything about coloring, so as per usual, likely that it has been colored. Also on the bottle, it gives 3 key tasting notes: treacle, bacon, and bonfires. I think it's really cool the way they do that. It's a nice bottle, most certainly. Very cool presentation. Dig the green. I think it works well with their sort of, I guess, the borders and the fonts, that sort of feel to it. The shape of the bottle's nice. This one is a non-age statement whiskey, and this expression is 54.2% ABV. So right up there, that's that cask strength, right? So a significant level of ABV on this one. I know the moment you've been waiting for. Let's pour a dram and get to the nosing. Nice coloring. Okay. It's such an enjoyable and approachable smell, right? You would be very surprised. At 54.2% ABV, you're almost expecting the ethanol, the alcohol, to be very intense right away on the nose, but surprisingly, it's so much more subdued than you would expect at that level. Very much the raisin note come through straight away. You can really pick up the sherry influence on the Uigeadail. Getting lovely elements of the barbecued meat. It's like a honeyed ham or a maple bacon type smell. Really sort of rich and decadent smells right away. Like the sherry influence is strong, very much. Lots of those cinnamon, the spice notes coming through also. I'm not getting a great deal of peat on the nose on this one. I'm a big fan of those Isla whiskies, the peaty whiskies, and the combination of the peat with the sherry influence is a big favorite of mine. So naturally, yeah, I'm a big fan of the Uigeadail. Okay, so let's try on the palate and see what the Uigeadail has to offer. Mm. 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 Oh my goodness, so rich, absolutely gorgeous mouthfeel, just very thick and coating. Man, truly blown away. One of my favorite whiskeys I've had to date. Just exceptional. Like, if you're a fan of PT whiskeys with the sherry influence, you'll be hard pressed to find a better example of that type of whiskey. The the mouthfeel, as I said, is just gorgeous. It's thick and rich, and you get the sweetness. You're getting the meaty notes, as the label suggests. The bacon, the peat comes through at the finish. It's very much the ashiness, that smoky earthiness comes through at the end. You can feel it coating your tongue towards the end, but very much dark fruits coming through, those rich glazed ham, like the honeyed ham, as I said, the maple bacon, those barbecue notes. Very it's a very flavorsome, a nice combination of savory with the sweet. There's a really interesting balance. You're getting elements of saltiness, a little bit of saltiness, slight oakiness, little hints of the woodiness on my palate right now. That dry, little tannic, just gorgeous. Like, it's so pleasing a whiskey to enjoy that it almost detracts from trying to dissect and pull apart the flavors, because just you're in the moment, you're experiencing it, you're enjoying it for what it is at the time, and it captures you, right? It takes your attention. It's stunning. It's an exceptional Ardbeg. More of the sweeter notes coming through now as I nose the glass. What's interesting is, for a whiskey of such a high ABV, it's important to generally add water at this level, because too high in ABV can actually hinder your taste buds, and sort of numb them, if you will. So it's important to, I like to try the whiskey at full strength, and then also I often try with a little bit of water to see the difference and see if it makes any change or impact to the whiskey. So before I do that, let's try on the finish. Let's try another sip, and then we'll add some water and see the impact the water makes on the whiskey. A lot of sweetness, and now some bite. There's no lacking in this whiskey. It's very much it has that Ardbeg style to it, the Ardbeg signature flavor. Think of the Ardbeg 10, but with less of the floral notes. It's more of a hefty whiskey with those sherry notes and those the meaty notes that I'm picking up, the cinnamon. It's more of a fuller Ardbeg, but you very much can tell that it is an Ardbeg as you taste it. It's so flavorsome, and even at such a high ABV, it's not packing a punch that I want to water it down. Like, it's so perfect at this level. Like, it's just so rich and beautiful and enjoyable as is. Oftentimes I won't add water to it because it's just so rich and full of flavor. Let's add some more whiskey to my glass, and then we'll add a little bit of water and get a feel. Okay. All right, let's add a little bit of water now and see how it impacts the whiskey. Let that dilute a touch. Interesting. Okay, so the water has subdued the alcohol content, even though, as I said, it didn't pack that wallop on your nose that you would expect at that high ABV. Just that little bit of water now has brought down that alcohol content sufficiently enough for me to catch far more of the meaty notes. It very much feels like that's the most prominent note for me, at least. Lots of cinnamon. The dark fruits are there, the raisins. Let's try another sip on the palate with the water and see the differences. A little subdued, right? It takes that nice edge off the high ABV, just brings it down to a level that you get more of a even distribution of the flavors, if that makes sense. It takes the edge off enough that the flavors become more pronounced, and it takes a little bit of that prickliness off from the high ABV. Absolutely one of my favorite whiskeys to date. It's a gorgeous dram. If you get a chance to grab yourself a bottle of the Ardbeg Uigeadail and you're a fan of Islay whiskies or whiskies with a sherry influence, very much this is one of the top whiskies out there that you can get right now. When I picked up my bottle, it was $150 Australian. And typically I see it in that range of probably 150 to 170 Australian dollars. It's a great buy for $150, I think reasonable, especially given that it's a no age statement, but the cask strength and the incredible flavor profile, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a good example of a whiskey not needing to give you an age statement to be truly appreciated, or a whiskey of a high caliber. The Ardbeg Uigeadail is a great example of that. So most certainly this is one that I recommend. And until the next one, enjoy your whiskey responsibly. Here's to you guys. Sláinte.